Hey, this is Mike McAdam from GenXGuitar. Today I'm going to be talking about 5 reasons why every guitarist should be using a bypass looper on stage. So I've seen a ton of guitarist rig videos on YouTube, and I'm always amazed how few people are actually using bypass loopers, and I can't figure out why. I've been using bypass loopers live on stage for about 20 years now, and they have made my gigging life a million times easier. So today I want to talk about 5 reasons that may convince you, if you're thinking about it, to buy a bypass looper. Number 1, if you have pedals or cables break down on a gig. I've been there. There's nothing worse than playing on a show and suddenly you have no signal coming out of your guitar and you have to go through your entire signal chain to figure out which pedal or which cable has suddenly died on you. If you have a bypass looper, you have bypassed all or most of those problems, because if you have an individual pedal that's died or a cable going out to that pedal that's died, you just take that pedal out and you can continue playing. This saves a ton of time and a ton of aggravation. I remember in the 90s playing and having this happen and not having a solution for it at that time. Having a bypass looper makes this much easier and solves that problem. Number 2, you can put pedals in different combinations. Now, I use a Road Rage analog bypass looper. It doesn't have any programming in it, but if you're using something like a Boss ES8, it allows you to put pedals in different configurations. So sometimes you may want to have a delay before your distortion or after your distortion. A bypass looper allows you to be able to do that and come up with different configurations of your pedals. Number 3, the signal is definitely cleaner through a bypass looper. You have a combination of pedals that have buffered bypass, Drew bypass, and you start running all of that cable through it. It can get noisy, you can lose some signal. This allows you to minimize a ton of that, and I've had a way more consistent sound since I've been using a bypass looper. It has certainly helped. Number 4, tap dancing. Now, we all love to tap dance on stage, but having a bypass looper can minimize this tremendously. Now, I do have an analog bypass looper, as I stated, but at least the pedals are all in one place. So if you need to switch things around, it's much easier to do. If you have a programmable one, it's easy to just hit one sound and it triggers off 3 or 4 things. You don't have to do as much tap dancing on stage. Number 5, as I mentioned before, consistency. Your sound is just so much more consistent with a bypass looper. There are other things that go into it, the quality of your cables, your power supply, things like that. But I found having a bypass looper allows you to really zero in on if you are having a sound issue, you know that, okay, it's probably not in my pedal board because I have a level of consistency by using the bypass looper that I'm not necessarily going to get having pedals all fished through each other. So I remember playing a show in the 90s where I had this Thomas organ wah pedal that sounded amazing. It was a beautiful sounding pedal, but I used to have to, between songs, patch it in and patch it out because it didn't have true bypass and it completely ruined my sound even when the pedal was off. If I'd only had a bypass looper, I could have minimized the issue with that pedal and just kept using it. Unfortunately, I sold it. Don't have that problem. Get a bypass looper. And bonus, number 6, it just looks cool. I can't even tell you how many times people have stopped me on shows and wondered what it is. So anytime you can go on stage and have something look more space age and maybe even have girls like it, that's always a plus, right? So those are 5 compelling reasons I've given you to go get a bypass looper. I even gave you a 6th for extra credit. So go buy one today. If you enjoyed this video or you use a bypass looper, tell us all about it in the comments. In the meantime, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.